My name is Plainwala. I'm from Bawaji's Flying School, and I'm trying to teach you the basics of all the 320 systems. This will help you in your airline exams, interviews, whatever. It's just basic add-on information. I'd gone for classes to another instructor, and based on his notes and what I've learned by myself, uh, that's what the classes are about. So I might have some things wrong. Please feel free to comment and correct me. Anyways, this is to try and uh, help people who might not be finding it like finding these outside classes expensive. So I'm trying to help you guys also, and plus it revises my also topics. I've just cleared a TR, so don't assume that I'm some big pilot or something. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to start with A320 manuals. Okay, today. So in the A320 manuals, we have a few manuals, and the examiners are going to ask you on full forms of these manuals. They're going to ask you a little information about these manuals. They are going to, in the full forms, they are going to mess with you at certain words of the full form. Okay, so it's important for you to distinguish between these words. Okay, what's the where these traps are. So you might and it's like a trick question within a trick question where they'll try to mess with you in the options only. Okay, so you have 4 manuals which are required for operations. Okay, so the first manual is FCOM. Okay, it stands for Flight Crew Operating Manual. Okay, so where people have a pitfall out here is flight is it's not flying. Okay, so they might give you an option flying through operating manual. That's wrong. They'll give you instead of operating, they'll give you operations. Okay, so this is where you'll have your problems. This is an example of where they are going to try and trick you. Okay, what is there in the FCOM has systems. Okay, then it has procedures. Now procedures has been broken up into a few parts. Okay, so what are these few parts? First, they've given you abnormal and emergency. Why have they given you this first? So that when you're going through the FCOM, in case you're in flight and you need to see an abnormal and emergency procedure, you don't need to go through all the normal procedures then come to abnormal and emergency. It's the first thing that you get to. Okay, so if you accidentally tap the abnormal emergency or accidentally tap procedures, you come into abnormal emergency straight ahead. Okay, what is in abnormal emergency? How do you distinguish between abnormal and emergency? Abnormal is something where your safety of the aircraft has not been impaired. Okay, so safety is not yet impaired. Whereas emergency is safety has been impaired. So like your emergency ELEC config, you are running on one small little rat. Okay, and that rat is powering a hydraulic system. That hydraulic system is in turn powering its generator, and that's how you're running the aircraft. Actually, all your systems are running, electricals are running through that. That's an emergency problem. Abnormal is like your CPC1 fail. Okay, it's pressurization, it's a failure, but you have CPC2 with you. Okay, so in case you don't know what CPC is, it's cabin pressure controller. So it's just like there's a backup for the system. So any system where it's not impairing my safety, I still have a backup. I still can handle the aircraft properly. It's called safety not yet impaired. Okay, then we have normal. Okay, and finally we have special ops. one second. Okay. Then after procedures, special ops like RVSM and all. Okay. Then we have limitations. Okay. Then we have after that temporary abnormal behaviors. And lastly, we have performance. Okay. Okay, that's your FCOM. Now we have something that adds on to the FCOM. Okay, so the FCOM is basically a lot of systems and all inside. Okay, you read the FCOM, you'll find electrical, you'll find hydraulics, you'll have so much information about systems. Okay, but then you'll have something called an FCTM. This is where people get confused. Okay, what's the purpose of an FCTM? First, let's go through the full form. Okay, it's not again flying, it's flight. So flight, true techniques manual, not technical manual. That is where the next mistake is. Okay, so they catch you with flying, they catch you with techniques technical. Okay, as the name suggests, it teaches you how to do things. Okay, so it teaches why and how to do things which have been things which are in the FCOM. Okay, so FCTM is complementary info. It is an add-on, basically an add-on to FCOM. Okay, so if you notice, the FCTM will have only a few systems and they'll be related to how to run the system, what is wrong with the system and all. It'll be very small compared to what the FCOM has. So open FCTM ka systems and see, you'll see it's a very small amount of information. Then we have a QRH. Okay, it's a quick reference handbook. An Indigo question had come, where is the RCAM present? Okay, so the RCAM is basically a runway matrix. It tells about runway contamination and everything. It is present in your QRH. So some of you must have done your TR and COM. Okay, so y'all would have gone through this at some point in your flying. Okay, some of you might have not gone through it at all, but at some point you might have done a little calculation to check whether the runway available is able to accommodate your aircraft with all the government regulations and everything added into it. Okay, because there's like 67% extra of how much is required by that you will actually use. Okay, that physically actually is used. You add 67% extra to that, then you get your dry runway ka how much is required. Then after that you have also a 15% you'll add if your runway is wet, and then on top of that you have another thing which was you assume that you are at a certain speed and you'll be 50 feet above the threshold. All those assumptions are all there and everything. So the RCAM just gives you like a rough idea of how much runway length you need, and you'll be able to land that aircraft out there. Okay, then quick reference handbook. The QRH contains some specific procedures. Okay, QRH contains specific procedures which is not there in the ECAM. Okay, so if it's not there in the ECAM, it's generally in the QRH. If it's not there in the QRH, it's generally displayed on the ECAM. That is like a general rule you can use. It'll help you a lot in figuring out what the hell is going on. Okay, then your next one is your MEL. Okay, MEL is minimum equipment list. Okay, this is by the operator. So like Air India, Indigo, Vistara, whoever is the operator, he is making a minimum equipment list, and he says this is the minimum equipments required for you as a pilot to take the aircraft for a flight. Okay, meaning company requirements. Company has self-imposed these things on it. Okay, there is something known as a master minimum equipment list. Okay, okay, it's the same full form as MEL. Basically is the same full form as this thing. Okay, master minimum equipment list is made by the manufacturer. Who's the manufacturer? For us, Airbus, it's going to be Airbus. Okay, French guys, let's just say it's a nice aircraft. Okay, Airbus, what do you call it? Is the manufacturer. He produces this master's minimum equipment list. He submits it to DGCA. DGCA sees it. DGCA checks the requirements that the aircraft can handle all Indian laws, and then DGCA will say, okay, I approve this master's minimum equipment list. Once DGCA has approved this master's minimum equipment list, the operator goes with his MEL, and then DGCA will compare with the master's minimum equipment list, his this operator's minimum equipment list, and he'll see, okay, is this guy fitting within the minimum requirements to minimum equipments to take for your flight, and then he will like certification and all will get done. Okay, so yeah, that's the whole part of your MEL. Now we have AFM. Okay, so these four on top were required for ops. Okay, so which four were they? FCOM, FCTM, okay, QRH, and MEL. These are required for your flight ops. Okay, for you to take the aircraft in air, these are the manuals you're going to require. Now you have AFM. AFM is not aircraft, it's airplane. Okay, this is where the pitfall happens in AFM. Airplane, okay, flight manual, not flying manual again, because they will question you, and then you will feel so irritated when you realize, oh shit, yeah, I knew that answer and I've made this mistake. And trust me, passing marks is very it's India has got like huge population, so it's going to have passing marks. The competition is going to make the passing marks really competitive. Okay, so these every one mark will be counting eventually. Okay, so AFM, airplane flight manual. Okay, what does the AFM have? It has your aircraft ka test day ka data. Okay, so when they tested this aircraft, what all this aircraft has performed. Okay, what all its flight envelope was like. Okay, so you know what the aircraft is capable of. Okay, it is not an operational manual, because again you could say that there is degradation of the aircraft over time and all. So this is what the aircraft has performed on a good day, brand new, everything. So that's why. Okay, so this is with manuals. Further on, I will be following MSN 4201, and yeah, any doubts or anything you'll have, please feel free to comment, and I'll try and get to you all as soon as possible. I'll be putting up a lot of videos soon. Let's see how my schedule becomes, and I'll accordingly plan more videos. Okay, thanks guys. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps with YouTube algorithm. I get more reach, more people will find out. And yeah, another thing, try to help as many people as possible, because later on it will be very beneficial for you, and on top of that you will be getting your concepts also cleared out. Okay, so my motto is like, help as many people as you can. It'll just be beneficial for you later. Okay, thanks guys.